All right, my man. I'm going to let you guys have one more for fun, and then we're going to call it a night.
Let's do it. So this is the title track off of our new album. This one is called How Hard Could It Be?
Gonna have some more. That's the way it goes. I have lost a house to fire. I've been a gun up there for hire on the East Coast. Now I'm out here living in the West, trying to push myself up there to be the best that I can be. How hard could it be? I mean, honestly.
Start off with your very first song ever, live at the BeeHive and the BeeHive bandwagon. Where are we headed?
This is, I am so stimulated right now by the passing scenery, by the river that I worked on for 15 years as a guide, and by the windy highway in the back of the van. It's a good thing I don't have motion sickness, or else I probably would have puked by now. But this is awesome, man. I love this. This is awesome.
I love it.
So I'm gonna start off with a song that's sort of like an invocation for escape, welcoming you to a world that is different from what you're used to. This is called Away-O. Walk through the door, the world shines differently. It's a place you've never been, and a heart you've never known. You know the names, you might think familiar things, but it doesn't really matter. It's just the way it makes you feel. Away-O, 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 away.
I'll tell you what, we just keep it going. We got more tunes from Buffalo Commons out of Steamboat, Colorado. Let's take it away.
I let down on Sunday, dreading the morning to be, dreading my life. I'm so tired of the paper chase, tired of the average pace, tired of the line. When I woke up, the sirens wail, dust lays the ceiling fail, escaped us in time. Make my way into the streets, no one was watching me. They ran for their life. It's comets fill the sky, and the ground begins to shake. I'm glad I'm still alive. Well, it's just in my name for me. Who would have thought it'd be the end of the world?
Oh, yeah, we know this one. Jazz Tax. Everyone knows this one back here, right?
It's kind of hard swing tune, so.
All right, well, let's hear it again. For the third time, this house is becoming very used to Jazz Tax. So here we go. First question. We're rolling into it right now. First one. Name the city and state for where that landmark resides. Where might that one be from there? It could be anybody's guess. That's kind of tough right there. You know, anybody. Ain't from
Texan on this one.
Where do we got? What do we got?
That looks like Sherman, Texas.
That looks like Sherman, Texas, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if we're checking it out, let's go and find that answer right now, ladies and gentlemen. That's one answer right there for them.
Go Bearcats.
Yeah, Sherman, Texas. I'm impressed. That's a tough one.
Good job, Jamie.
I mean, when it comes to landmarks, nobody thinks Sherman, Texas. That's pretty impressive. So let's keep it going. Another question to you guys right here. It's the name of the city and state for where these landmarks reside. Can you believe this? Number 2 right here, and I don't know how much discussion you guys need to have. Braden, I'm going to leave this one in your world, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say Columbus, Kansas.
Columbus, Kansas. I didn't even think there was a Columbus, Kansas. I thought, what the hell, it'd fall out of Ohio and just drip over? Well, let's find the answer to that one right there. Swim! That's 2 in a row, you guys. Sherman, Texas, Columbus, Kansas. You guys are really smart. I don't know where you guys know this stuff from.
1, 2, 3. Give me love, give me love, give me peace all night. Give me light, give me light, keep me free from bad. Give me hope, help me go
got it next, brother? Give us another one.
So this is an older tune of mine that I wrote when I was probably about like 17 years old. It's called Old Jim, as in Gemstone, because I thought it was just a heck of a tune when I refound it. It's not about your clothes. This game of life is not a contest. This poker face ain't what you chose. You'd rather be humble than honest. But now you're down upon your knees, asking the Lord for forgiveness. But that don't matter much to me, no, no. Everything happens for a reason.
Well, brother, I'm sorry. Well, I know we done you wrong. We made you wait. We made you wait so long. Well, brother, you wonder. Your words come in a wind. We've been led astray by the evilest of men.
Back to Colorado. If you find my heart, bring it back to Colorado and leave it on the front porch of my one true love. If you find my mind, be free to read me and listen to the story I didn't know how to tell. I got lost, torn apart and scattered, but it don't really matter. I'm the earth's to keep. Notify my kin that I'm never coming home. Forever I will roam in your sweetest dreams.
Let's
2. What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? It's Goldie. It's live at the BeeHive Tuesday again because this is what we do every single Tuesday. Welcome on in, everyone. John, or Yawn, if I said that correctly. Richard, you're in the house. Geraldine, in the house. Our friends from Texas, the Kirby's Music. Apparently, they're going to roll up here into Colorado at sometime August. We might get them in the studio. We'll see how it all plays out. Anyhow, welcome to the show, everyone. I think it's time to go ahead and kind of get ready to just kind of roll with it. You guys down here, I'm just going to go ahead and chime in real quickly. You guys have been working on something fresh tonight. What is it?
Okay, so just the other day, I went to Red Rocks Amphitheater for the first time.
Yeah, sick.
And I saw Peach Pit, and they had an encore of an encore that was Tommy's Party, which is like one of their most popular songs.
Okay,
So
sick.
I've been like hyper obsessing over that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start up with Tommy's Party by Peach Pit.
All right, well, let's get there.
Also,
Thank
you everyone for being here, and Jean,
John.
who are you?
That sounds Philly to me.
It's Jean, we got to know. So in the comments. Also, I'm going to let these guys go tonight. Something I'm going to need your guys' help with tonight is in the past 3 or 4 years, I had a website failure. I have to bring my website out of the dirt of Google. So tonight when you're listening, would you go to Google and give BeeHiveProductions.com a drop, like, hey, BeeHiveProductions.com does awesome stuff. He brushes his hair real nice and wears really good shoelaces on his shoes. Whatever you want to say, just as long as it's a 5-star. I need to bring my website out from the dead again. So again, it's the whole thing. BeeHiveProductions.com. Drop something on Google. It would be awesome. Let's hear some jazz. That was a run. That was a hell of a run right there. Hey, let me turn on your microphone.
Good. That's all good. Hello.
We're hold on. Let me turn off some buttons there. There we go. That button doesn't need to be on. How you doing? Let me get back over to this button there over here.
That's
And-
crazy. What the hell?
It's already 6:50.
We didn't even try.
That
just
felt like
went.
5 minutes.
It just went. It just went.
I
And
thought that
that's
was literally like 20.
I mean, no,
At most.
that's how I feel too.
I think that's kind of where that's the idea of this show is just to let you guys go. There's no, I had actually a guy, I don't know, I haven't told you guys yet, but I had this guy hit me up in the comments the messages the other day, and he says, so it just looks like you just like let the guys play music and that's it. I go, I guess that's it.
Oh, yeah, I
tell
guess
us.
Right, yeah. And he goes, well, like you don't have any interaction or you don't have any, back and forth with the crowd or whatever. And I was like, I don't really think we need it. Like, and he goes, well, then what's the value of your show? And I was like, I don't know, man. With you, not much.
With you, yeah.
Others, I think we can figure it out. Yeah, it
I-
kind of took me for a minute. I was like, really? But hey, there's all kinds.
Personally, I genuinely like. One of my favorite parts is looking at the chat and seeing what people are saying.
Yeah.
So it's either like I'm glancing while I'm playing at the chat and like I'm still seeing what you guys are saying.
Right.
Or like Brett and I are just having absolute chemistry and I forget that everything else exists.
Right. And then you're like, oh yeah, we're doing
So
this. We're doing this.
Those are my two extremes. So I do love the chat and interaction. Sometimes 50 minutes fly by.
That first, I mean, you've got, speaking of the chat, you've got John, who is
Hello, John.
a guy who used to work at an AV company here in Fort Collins. He's off doing his own kind of thing right now, and it sounds like him and his kids are at home on the TV, watching, listening, dancing. So, to DJ Russ Cuss.
Well, hello, John, and
John.
your children. I hope you guys are
John.
enjoying.
Like the
Thank you
Philly
so
thing.
much.
John.
Thank you, John.
Hey, John.
Okay, like the Philly thing,
Yeah.
like the Wisconsin thing.
Willow's in the house. She rolled in.
What's up, Willow? Thank you so much,
I'm
Willow,
guessing
as
that
always.
Texas crew is still in the house, and I hope that you are. I hope that you're enjoying this.
I have a few people that are they're not.
Geraldine's in the house.
What's up, Mom? Jardine.
Yeah. Dad's in the house.
What's up,
Richard's
Dad?
in the house. Kirby Music. The Kirby Music. Hope you
Kirby
guys
Music.
are still in here. Seattle Scott. I hope you're still here too, bud. But I think we're gonna take a break. You guys are gonna take a break, or
What do you want to do one more and then finish out with like a 40-minute absolute banger, or do you want to take a break right now?
Probably do one more. and
Yeah,
then-
let's do one more. Let's
Okay.
do one more.
okay? What's it gonna be?
Brett, any requests, or should we just start? There's no wrong answer here.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think dedicated to the Philly guy. Let's call this one Water Ice.
Exactly.
Water rice.
Water.
Exactly.
Water with 2 O's.
This is an original for you, Mr. Philly man.
And you just joined in the house, Christian Compania Clips.
No way! Christian
Oh, yeah.
Campagna!
What up?
Let's go.
Christian
Let's go.
Campagna is my best friend from Louisiana. He
Oh,
lives in
yeah, boys.
Austin now. He's a semi-pro soccer player.
Sick. Pro
He's-
soccer player.
Crazy. One of the most talented people I've ever seen.
Yeah. So don't get in a running race with this guy.
No,
With your money.
He claims to be the fastest man alive.
Well, and proving my point once again.
Christian, if you got a request, man, just let me know. Let me
Yeah.
know.
Throw it in. All right, you guys rip, and then here we go. What is this? What is this?
That was crazy.
What is this?
Water ice.
That was
Oh,
fun.
and I got all blurred out because we were having too much fun. Oh man, there we go. That's what happened to my thing. All right, I'll tell you what. I'm blurry. You should be too. Let's take a quick break and let's get a little blurrier, and we will come back for a second hour of Live at the BeeHive. My name's Goldie, and/or I'm blurry. All right, we will see you. Let's see. You know what? I'm trying to pick the right song here. Yeah, there we go. Willow's stoked. Willow's stoked.
You started going heavy.
We'll see you in a minute.
Thank you so much. This next one I like to imagine as the crossover event of the century, Eat Your Heart Out, Marvel. Imagine if Australian R&B / soul band Hiatus Coyote did a collab with classic jazz group Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. That's kind of what I envisioned for this one. This is called Gravitas.
funny. Like, give it to me. Where's the inspiration come from? When did it start? Like, did your mom, she was like, it's either the spoon or the trombone.
No, my parents were super cool with the whole music thing, actually. I mean, I had a really, really cool music teacher in middle school who kind of lit the spark for me. Mr. Roberts, if you're watching this at any point, tip of the hat to you. Benefited a lot from the great music education that we have in public schools in this country. So Mr. Roberts from middle school, Mr. Patton from high school, Jim Robertson, my first lesson teacher, rest in peace. You're all awesome. Big thanks to you. That's a big part of where the inspiration comes from. But yeah, I mean, I grew up doing public school band, played some tuba, played some euphonium, took some guitar lessons, played bass in a mediocre punk rock band in high school too. We were called Almost Handsome. It was kind of fun. We weren't very good. And yeah, I mean, decided to major in music in college. Got told, hey, these degree programs are too intense for you to play every single instrument. You got to kind of narrow it down. Kind of went, all right, trombone it is. And yeah, I mean, did a lot of writing music when I was a kid. Kind of fell off the wagon from it for a few years, but started writing a few years ago. Got this fine group of people together, recorded an EP last year, Silver and Red. It's on all streaming services under my name. But yeah, all of these fantastic musicians are willing to get up here and play my ridiculous music. So hats off to all of them. Cool if I take a moment and introduce the band?
Please do.
All right. Over here on the tenor saxophone to my right, Jake Saran. Applause welcome. Encouraged but not required. Playing alto sax and soprano sax tonight, Jeremy Wendelin. On the trumpet, Tony Zader. On the keyboard, Sonia Walker. On the guitar, Ben Parrish. On the drums, Gabe Gravano. Last and least, just kidding, Van Powell on the bass. Van and I also play in a group called Vanimal Kingdom Get Together, which is the project where we do all of Van's music. So it's the Octet for my tunes, Vanimal Kingdom for Van's. So we get way too much of each other. We don't fight too much, thankfully. All right, this next tune has a little bit of a story behind it. It's kind of one of those unwritten rules of music that if you're writing tunes, you eventually got to write one for your significant other. Most people go with a ballad. For my significant other, I went with a pop funk tune. This is kind of a whole bunch of inside jokes between the two of us, all G-rated, thankfully. A whole bunch of inside jokes and a whole bunch of tunes that we both love smashed together into one tune. She makes me happy and she makes me laugh, so this is just a goofy, happy tune. This is called Boppin' Somebody.
friends, what up? My name's Goldie. Welcome back live with the BeeHive. That was John Gower that had taken care of us earlier. However, that track was going to get extremely long for our break, so we went ahead and had a abridged version of that track. I pressed interrupt, and here we are.
You're in the wrong spot.
Welcome back, everybody. Second hour live with the BeeHive. Boys are already communicating, talking about what is up. And so, gents, what is up?
We are going to open up with a song called Japanese Denim by Daniil Caesar. Yeah. I just saw a cat run by.
Yeah.
Got really excited.
I know, yeah, I know. You love cats, dude.
I love cats.
Well, maybe we'll put like a little cat bed next to the, like the keyboard.
I think a cat tree would really tie this place together.
Right. And then, you never know.
I'll start bringing mine for like the Tuesday nights.
If you got room in the car, bring the cat tree.
I do not, but we'll make it work.
Now, hey, check this out. Our understanding tonight was that we were going to have a saxophone edition, a featured saxophonist this evening. And we have just learned that the restaurant industry, once again, will suck the living life out of every ounce of every massive body you've got in your carcass. Allie will not be able to join us tonight because this human will be managing the restaurant. And they will not let this human go. So, ball and chain to the restaurant as it is. And unfortunately, we don't have a saxophone player tonight. So, therefore, we now have a drum cam. Oh, a little sideway action. I might have to get that one turned on us now. That's new. I had to move it around. And, well, I'd say then let's just get going. Because now you know. That's what you. Yeah, that's what we got. That's your cheering section tonight. Nice. Oh man. I guess what's kind of interesting is I think that tonight, out of all the nights that we've done this, I'd say tonight was the night that you abstained from the majority of your go-to songs. Like, I think maybe there was the one, and it's that.
I
Like,
agree.
Yeah.
I tried to do that on purpose.
Yeah.
Thank you for noticing.
Yeah, that was nice. I didn't hear any of the songs except for one, and I heard it, and I'm not gonna say which one it was, but I know what it was.
Do you know which one it was?
I do.
What was it?
It's that one that's like a Christmas song. It's the favorite things.
I love. It's not a Christmas song.
I know. You think
it's kind of a Christmas
it's
song.
Such a Christmas song.
It's not 100% a Christmas song. It's just like it's a jazz song that's listened to around Christmas. That's different.
Play the little dee da 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 dee da 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 da. Yeah, that's. I mean, I just see sugar plums dancing in my head.
I love it. I love it so much. I don't play it for Santa Claus. I play it.
Nobody
I play it
dances
for John
Santa
Coltrane,
Claus
okay?
around here. But outside of that, man, it was all OG. So if you were to resume somebody and you're like, this is my OG, this would be the show you want. It would be, what is today, June 3rd?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that one.
June 3rd.
June 3rd.
The OG stream.
OG streamos. I don't think any of you guys gave me a Google review in 2 hours. Guys, my website, it's horrible. No, actually, it's really awful. What happened was the people who were hosting it, like all the domain and all the things like that, they decided to like de-index it from Google. And so, yeah, I didn't have a website. I wasn't getting emails. I wasn't getting anything for like 3 years. And I found this out like 6 months ago. And I was like, dude, I got to do something about that. So if you don't mind, just like I said in the comments, that'd be great if you could just go to Google on Saturday and leave me a review. That'd be great. So, any bits. Willow in the house.
Willow, thank you for the spirit finger comment. That was really funny. Thank you.
Dad's in the house. Geraldine's in the house. Jean was in the house.
Jean?
Scott was in the house. I don't even know if Scott's still in the house. He every once in a while, he's Scott. If he was an animal, he'd be a squirrel. That's the truth. That I know for true. So Scott, if you're still here, do me one of these. Like, and what else? What else do we know? Anything?
If you're in Colorado, I have 2 shows Saturday. Brett has 1 show Saturday.
Where are they at?
What was your show Saturday?
Mine's in Holyoke on Saturday, but I'm also in Loveland at To the Fives.
Oh shit. Okay, Brett.
Holyoke,
also has
Nebraska?
No, well, pretty much Colorado.
Oh,
But,
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay,
Very
over there
far
by
out there.
Yeah, by Sterlingish.
Yes.
Yes. Lovely area of dirt. Yes.
It's a great time out there.
Hey, speaking of shows coming up, we've got one this Thursday, The Lovelies, coming up from 6 to 8 this Thursday. Brett, do you know who the drummer is of that band?
No.
You. Every drummer or any band in Fort Collins is like, oh yeah, Brett's our drummer. Oh yeah, Brett's our drummer. Oh yeah, Brett's our drummer.
I wish I could quit my day job then.
Well, maybe you should. And then you could be like, with more people, oh yeah, Brett's our drummer.
Brett, if you hypothetically quit your day job, you would 100% make it work as a full-time musician.
You'd have more time for drumming.
That's what I'm saying.
Did this turn into an intervention?
I think
It
so.
did.
I think so.
Brett.
Everyone in the comments, please encourage Brett to quit his job.
Quit your job.
Quit your job.
Your job.
If we get 3 comments that say, Brett, quit your job tonight, then Brett will quit his job tonight. He promised me. We talked about this before we got here. So make it happen, guys, please.
Come on, Brett. Quit your job.
Sorry, Brett's boss.
Sorry, hey, bird boy. You're done. Parrot boss. Yeah. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but you know, there's gonna come a time, Brett, where being a parrot professional is not what you thought it was all cracked up to be. Or is it?
I mean, I love playing with the parrots.
Yeah. What about everything else?
Yeah, I mean,
The poop.
I mean, obviously. Like,
Do they speak to you? Are you like their bro now? Are you like
a lot of them, yeah.
they're like Brett. Is that
It
how they?
depends. Some of them know more words. Some of them are still guttural sounds. So after like year 3 of doing this, I don't know who's talking to who anymore. Like, am I speaking bird or are they speaking human?
That's actually
Kinda
wow.
That is crazy.
Wow. Yeah, that must be.
What a
is
crazy
it-
routine.
Yeah. Are you hearing like things? Are they repeating things that you're saying at work?
Oh yeah, the one just copies me sneezing all the time to get my attention.
And so what does he do?
literally like that, and just to get my attention to try to bite me because that one's a little prick.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. What a pecker. You know the pecker
The
thing.
beak?
Right. Yeah. The beak. Right. Your mom is questioning your life choices right now on
Well,
the chat
I
room.
can't read from over there.
She just give a what's going on there? So yeah, we'll let you know where Brett's living in the next month or so. If it's on Colfax or in the lap of luxury, we'll find out. Well, I'll say that's it. Unless you guys have something else you want to spill out of your little finger toes.
I don't think so.
Is that basically it right there?
That was basically it.
I
The
think that-
Tommy's party is going to be my next YouTube video for those that are interested. So
Tommy's party. What's that?
That's what we opened with, that Peach Pit song.
Oh, we would have no idea. Oh yeah, that's right. You covered his song. That's right. No, I'm wrong. No, everyone knew that happened. I'm the only Moran. Yeah, so it's fine. Yeah, your friend in the comments, she knew.
Yes.
Sierra, I believe it was.
Oh, okay.
She knew. She was like, "Oh, this is that beep bop boop."
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sierra.
Yeah, she knows. Willow, thanks for being here. Bro Soul, thanks for being here. Matt, thanks for the Googlins. Yeah, and Willow and Bro Soul, come on, hook it up. Go to BeeHiveProductions.com. Give me a 5-star. Say he's real, he's breathing. Maybe my website will come back to life. I would sure love that. Okay, I'd say that's going to do it for us. Is that doing it for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Party at my house after this.
Party at Jackson!